Hey, it's Crypto Bobby, and today I'm coming to you with an ICO review and analysis of the PROPS project by YouNow. Now, what you're seeing on the screen right now is the SpaceSuitX analysis overall score that I put in place for PROPS and YouNow, and I'm going to go through this video explaining why I think PROPS might be a solid opportunity in the future, specifically 3 areas where I'm really positive on PROPS' ability to find success and find a solid niche in the marketplace, as well as 2 areas where I think PROPS is really going to have to address some risks to be successful in the market. And so I'm going to really focus in not just on this overall analysis score, but there's 3 reasons why I think PROPS could potentially be very successful when it comes to creating a fantastic environment and a fantastic product for the crypto world, as well as 2 things that they're probably going to have to overcome when it comes to being successful. So that's what we're going to hop into today. Now, popping over to the propsproject.com, you can click on the link in the description below. And if you'd like to, after going through this video, if you'd like to join their mailing list or join on Telegram, they do have their whitelist open until November 1st. So depending upon when you're watching this, if you join the mailing list or join their Telegram, you can join that whitelist prior to November 1st to participate in the token sale. And going to that point too, guys, so I am actually a project advisor for PROPS. With that being said, every bit of this opinion is my own, and every thought here is going to be completely upfront, honest, both on the strengths as well as both on the perceived strengths as well as on the perceived weaknesses. And any ICO token sale participation, whatever you might be participating in there, whether it's crypto, if it's an ICO, there's obviously inherent risks associated with that. So always do your due diligence, guys. Starts with reading the white paper in full, starts with reading all the articles out online, making your own informed investment decisions. So definitely just keep that in mind outside of just this video in general. But let's hop into my thought process on PROPS by YouNow, why it's a project that I'm excited about, really those 3 points in general, and also the 2 points of which I think are going to be important for PROPS to overcome when it comes to being successful in this really developing marketplace. So the first thing, and I'm going to list off really just off the top, I think the 3 things that are going to hopefully propel PROPS to success in the marketplace, as well as the 2 negatives. And then I want to talk about those individually in relationship to the SpaceSuitX analysis methodology. So of the 3 points that I think are going to potentially lead to PROPS' success is, number 1, they're actually going to have a project or a product in place on day 1 after that token sale. So that is going to be, there are a lot of projects out there that are just a white paper, that are just a pipe dream. PROPS is actually going to have something in place for you to utilize for users to consume on day 1 following the token sale. So that is number 1, in my opinion, of a massive strength. Number 2 is they really have strong institutional backing, as well as advisors and legal, accounting, all of that good stuff. I think that is really important and really fundamental in terms of having success as an ICO these days, and as a future crypto project is laying the groundwork, and they definitely have that groundwork, and I'll talk about that, such as with their investors, previous investors like Chris Dixon, like Comcast, like Union Square Ventures. So, pretty big backing there. And number 3 is they have a built-in user community now already that's already transacting within their YouNow ecosystem. So having the ability to kind of move those existing users in that existing community to the PROPS platform, to a decentralized platform, I think that presents a really big opportunity for them. And having the fact that they're already transacting on the platform, we can get into that in a little bit more detail as well. And then the 2 points that I think they're going to really have to address is, first of all, the biggest thing in my opinion is there is a lot of competition out there when it comes to the live streaming space that PROPS is looking to play into, the video application space. You have multi-billion-dollar companies like Google, YouTube, obviously, Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Twitch in the game as well. So you have multi-billion-dollar companies out there competing. Can YouNow outmaneuver and kind of outposition some of these larger companies in this space to be more successful and more nimble? And will a decentralized set of video applications, live streaming, will that actually beat out those big players? That's something you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on. And then in addition to that, the overall ICO marketplace or market sentiment in general has perhaps in some cases maybe cooled off a little bit. So is that something that just for the time being within the token sale, is that going to potentially affect the props project? We'll have to wait and see, but definitely something to keep an eye on there as well. So getting back into it, popping over to the actual SpaceSuitX valuation, or excuse me, the analysis score here. A couple different things, like I mentioned, that are really important and stuck out to me. So participation when it comes to SpaceSuitX is going to be, what are you actually participating in with this token? How is that, how transparent is the issuance, things of that nature. And then the accounting, legal, and community management and the team overall. So I think, in my opinion, this is really something. As I'm scrolling down here, you can see again, if you want to participate in that whitelist up until the registration, that happens November 1st. But as I'm going down, a couple of the big things. So YouNow's investors and some of the people that have participated and worked with YouNow, Union Square Ventures, obviously a big VC firm, Comcast Ventures, probably heard of Comcast, right? Maybe you're watching this video on a Comcast internet solution right now. Who knows? And Chris Dixon, a investor from Andreessen Horowitz, that's worked with Coinbase, that's worked with a lot of big startups in the space. So not only do they have some large existing investors and relationships there off the top, but the actual team itself is a number of people that have had legitimate experience in the space. If you haven't seen my interview with Adi before, I'll link to it up here, but you can take a look. I did have a chance to meet Adi in person and speak to them and speak to Adi and a number of the other folks at Props regarding this platform, and got the chance to utilize the platform as well. But you're talking about a lot of experienced people based in Manhattan, not based in some far off foreign land, that have no background with big companies or have not worked with, have not worked in this space at all. These are all individuals that have worked have had quite a bit of experience in terms of live streaming, in terms of media companies. So that I think, in my opinion, is a really big opportunity and a really nice thing about the Props project in general. And then, in addition to that, all these people based in Manhattan, which is good to see. The advisory team that they have is really, really strong. You have Jake Bruckman from CoinFund, and you have Marco Santori from Cooley. Marco Santori is the guy who has literally written a white paper or developed a project on compliant token sales and how to develop a compliant ICO. So, rest assured that there is significant amount of thought from Props put into the overall security as well as the compliance and legality of their token sale or the ICO. So you're not going to run into a project like the people over at Tezos are running into right now or anything crazy like that. So, from that perspective, the accounting, the legal, the community management, I think that's really all a big highlight for me and something that I remain pretty positive on. And then in addition to that, as we're walking through the white paper, and again, it's a 48-page white paper. I'll link to it in the, I'll link to it in the show notes. So you can definitely take a look at that. And as always, like I say, with every ICO, you want to do your due diligence and you want to make sure that you are doing your research. And a big part of that is understanding and reading through all 48 pages of the white paper. So just in a quick scroll down, one of the things that I think is really important, and I mentioned this a bit earlier, is overall the utility of the application as well as the existing YouNow and Props' existing business and how they have familiarity with people that are already transacting on YouNow. So if you go down here, you can see that with Props in general, if you go down, and you can see from, where do we get here? So YouNow is an existing application. It is an existing live streaming application, and you can see the number of, basically you can see the current transactions per day that, and the revenue, the gross sales that they have on a quarterly basis here, over $4 million, $4 to $6 million a quarter, transacting on the YouNow network right now. And that's over 60,000 transactions a day. So they have familiarity with having a network that has over 60,000 transactions a day. And in my opinion, that type of experience and porting that, being able to port that type of experience really will allow props to be a lot more successful. And I think that's going to be a massive, massive advantage to props going forward. And then one of the last points that I think is going to be important and to be of emphasis is actually the ability for props to make it easy for a lot of individuals who have no experience with cryptocurrency and really don't even know what cryptocurrency is, to open up a wallet, to earn props, to earn cryptocurrency, and to expand the ecosystem in general. I think that's going to be huge. I think that's going to be a really big value proposition for props in the future, if they can make this a really seamless and positive experience and a secure experience as well. Granted, there has to be a lot of built-in security into this. We're talking about a mobile-first design for props here, really mobile-only, mobile-led design, but that's something that I think is a really strong opportunity, because there are a few different companies that have somewhat tried this in this space. And I was talking to a D previously, the CEO. I had a chance to interview a D and talk to him a little bit further. And in some cases, the props project reminds me a little bit of Steam. And Steam has built up a very good, I'll pull up my profile here. Steam has built up a very good community, a functioning product, and something that a lot of people are really positive about when it comes to Steam. However, from a mobile perspective and from ease of usability, it's not always the easiest thing for somebody who's not super familiar with cryptocurrencies. However, Props is trying to make this a really mobile-first type of environment, and I think that's going to be a massive value add, or a massive opportunity, if they can really deliver on that type of experience. Now, you're probably wondering too, what is the overall use case, or what could be the use case, and why do I think that this could really be successful? So in my mind, having utilized the product before, I've tested out the beta product a number of weeks ago, got a chance to utilize that and thought it was pretty awesome. And so you guys are probably familiar with my crypto happy hours, my YouTube lives. If you haven't, I do a YouTube live where I talk about cryptocurrency. I talk about kind of what's happening in the day-to-day world. And then if you have a question, I try to answer them. If you have a question you want answered, you put in a super chat on YouTube. The problem with that is that you can't super chat on, you can't enter in your information for a super chat on YouTube on a mobile device right now, or a lot of people can't do that yet. So if you really want something answered and you're watching it on a mobile device, you can't utilize that feature yet. And alternatively, there isn't really, it's just kind of me talking to people. Granted, I can talk via the comments and interact in that way, but the interesting thing about Props is not only is there a one-to-many feature where I can continue to do my YouTube live crypto happy hours, I can do Props crypto happy hours where I am able to talk to you, and if you have a question, you could throw me props. So you could basically do the same thing as a super chat, and if you throw me enough props on your mobile device, I can actually bring your picture up on the screen. You can ask your question. You can curse at me, you can do whatever you want to do, and then I can, if you have a good question, I can leave you up on the screen. If there are multiple people that want to ask a question, I can bring up to 4 people on that screen to talk on that crypto happy hour. And then if you go nuts and if you just wanted to tip me some props to yell at me, I can flip you off the screen and I can just move on with the conversation. So the use case there is really cool, and it can make for a lot more of an interactive live stream than what I have right now on YouTube. So I think that's why I'm really excited about it. And when I look at what Steam has been able to do in terms of kind of replicating Reddit in some perspectives, I think Props is able to replicate a lot of what these live stream solutions are out there doing right now, but doing it in a mobile first way. And then doing that with really built-in transactions is something that's really interesting for me. So I'm pretty positive on that. Now, like I said before, when it comes down to it, when you are looking at the ICO itself, when you're looking at Props, you do want to, the biggest risk, I think, in my opinion, is can Props compete with the big boys in the room already? They're not competing against, YouTube is a part of Google, which is a multi-$100 billion company. Facebook is a multi-$100 billion company. Twitch, Twitter, those are Twitch owned by Amazon. There are very big live streaming companies out there right now. So it's going to be a competitive space, but Props is really the first one that's doing it in a decentralized approach. And I think that tends to come with a number of people that really get excited about having something on a decentralized platform and the ability to earn, whether you are a content creator like myself, or if you are a content consumer like you watching this video right now. Really going to be an interesting type of environment for me personally. And I'm excited to watch this continue to get developed because I think it has, quite frankly, one of the better use cases in the crypto world. It's something that actually has true utility behind the token. That is, that's the key. If a token doesn't have utility, if the network has no value, there isn't really any reason for it. I think Props does have a really nice reason, whether you're a creator like myself, if you're somebody just who supports people, like the subscribers that are watching this right now, if you want to create your own stuff in the future, there's a lot of different ways, and I think utility beyond or for Props. So I'm excited about that. Now, guys, like I said before, if you want to do a little bit more due diligence, I will certainly link to the white paper in the description below, as well as the Props website if you want to take a look at that. And then I also encourage you to run your own analysis and evaluation on Props on YouNow, as well as anything else you're considering to potentially participate or invest in. The SpaceSuitX, again, this is an open source thing that Bruce Fenton created, but I really like it. I think it goes to really help encourage a smart and well thought out and well-rounded evaluation and analysis of a potential ICO or of a potential token. So I really like this way of doing things, and I would encourage you, if you're looking to check out Props, if you're looking to participate in Props' ICO or their token sale or anything else, definitely give this a go. Read the white paper, read everything you can. Try to invest as much time into understanding how this might be a good opportunity for you, and then put in the work to run your own analysis on it. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, it is Crypto Bobby. Thank you so much for your time. If you have questions, definitely sound off in the comments below. I would really like to hear your thoughts on this project. If you have questions, anything like that, definitely let me know. Rob from Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.